Hello everyone, I'm your host, Mr. G, and what I'm talking about today is basically the darknet. I know a lot of people that actually have ordered off the darknet. Not like no loads of people, like, but I know a lot of people do order off the darknet. And basically, at the end of the day, the war on drugs is failing. And I believe that possession of any drug, whether that be amphetamine, speed, cocaine, MDMA, ecstasy, mephedrone, 3-FPM, MEPHEDRONE, 3-MEPHEDRONE, which is obviously 3-FPM, methylamphetamine, which is which is like Ritalin, Adderall, and speed. I don't agree with the legalisation of heroin or crack, because they are very painful drugs, and they can kill people, and also they have a lot of serious effects to them. You know what I mean? As you've seen in the film with Wesley Snipes called New Jack City, where he becomes a crack dealer, and you see the effects that crack cocaine has on people. See, me myself, I've never taken it at all. So basically, what I want to do is, I'm calling out to all governments, politicians, and everyone. Please legalise drugs. Because, you know, people who use them, you know what I mean, since the ban, people found it very hard to get hold of drugs, and a lot have really suffered. A lot that I've spoken to have really suffered. They're more depressed, more stressed about the day-to-day life, because, you know, they were basically buying that particular substance every time they got paid. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you can't criminalise drug users. You know, basically, you know, I wouldn't say go after the big dealers. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of dealers out there are decent people, and there's obviously a lot out there that ain't decent people. And all I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to raise awareness about drugs, and I think that they should all be legalised. You see, I had some of the best times of my life on Meow Meow. A lot of my videos that I've educated people about the legal highs back in the day, a lot of those videos basically were to obviously show people how harmful legal highs can be, and obviously you must be with a friend before you take it. Make sure you're around someone, make sure you're safe, make sure you're comfortable in your surroundings, otherwise don't touch it, because you don't know what it'll do to you until you try it. Same as when you take your first ecstasy tablet, you don't know whether it will kill you, you don't know whether you'll get through the experience, you don't know whether it's going to give you a heart attack, you don't know anything. You've got to do all your research and make sure you go for blood tests before you condone any kind of drug activity, before you get involved in any kind of drugs. But my message is, you know what I mean, it's up to you whether you get involved in taking drugs. I'm not here to condone drug use, but I'm just want to say that I think that the bestest drug in the world would have to be MDMA. It used to be the only one that I used to be able to communicate with my peers, my friends, my family, and I haven't had it for a long time. And ecstasy, they're saying that a lot of you Asperger people out there, ecstasy, they're saying is a cure. Is ecstasy the cure for Asperger's? And I would say it is, because I used to, back in the day, I used to be on a lot of ecstasy pills and everything. Used to go to a lot of raves and everything like that. And you know, ecstasy was a way of life for me. It really was a way of life for me. It really changed my life. It changed my perspectives about life. If I hadn't have got involved in any kind of drug abuse, then I wouldn't be the person I am today, which is someone who's very intelligent and very clever. Because I would say the first time you take cocaine, it changes your brain somewhat. And I would say that people are more intelligent that have actually taken drugs compared to those who haven't taken drugs. It's just in my personal opinion, because you see, I was at the age of 18, I come out of boarding school and I left it all behind because of some girl. And well, basically it was tough being in that boarding school, all boys. Like, you know, I had a couple of girlfriends in there, but not many. And when I came out there, I was really quiet. I didn't know anything about the world, you know what I mean? Because when you're in that kind of isolated environment, you just don't know about people, and you don't know about the world, and you don't know about the dangers of the world, because you know, you're mostly in lockup. It wasn't a lockup facility like a security or anything like that. But the thing is, it was, you know, it was like a prison, because we had to go to bed at a certain time. We weren't allowed alcohol on the premises. We had to sneak alcohol on the premises if we were going to obviously take drugs. Obviously drugs were illegal. We used to like smoke the odd blunt, you know, smoke the odd ganja. See, that's one thing that's never done it for me, is smoking. I have never seen a big thing for it. I was 13 when I tried my first cigarette, and I thought I was tough by you know, smoking it. I thought it would get me friends. And it turned out it actually backfired on me, because I didn't even know how to smoke it. And to this day, I don't even know how to smoke blunts. So, because it's not the thing I've researched all my life about. The things that I've researched, well, most of my life is through ecstasy use and amphetamines, basically. So yeah, I want to basically talk out to everyone out there, and I just want to say that all drugs should be legalised. I hope my video reaches the thousands, because it should. Because at the end of the day, there's people that are suffering because of the ban on legal highs. It means that because they're not getting stuff that's legal in this country, because before the ban you could get the likes of 3-FPM, promethazine, MEPHEDRONE, MEPHEDRONE, which is like Ritalin, which is just like coke, which is really nice. And also other variations of legal highs. Like you also had YOU.I, which was the bestest out of all of them. I'm so glad that the scientists have made an amazing drug, because to tell you the truth, all my years growing up, and all of a sudden I come across that, it was amazing to come across that stuff, because a lot of my videos, I talk about it, about my experiences on it and everything like that. And to tell you the truth, to this day, it is the best thing ever. And I will never ever say that anything will beat YOU.I. Not coke, not amphetamine. Why? Why is it YOU.I the drug of choice? Right? Number one, you go and buy some street amphetamine, right? You pay like £30, you get 8 to 9 grams, right? This stuff usually comes as putty, right? Then obviously, as soon as you try it, you don't know how much to take of it. And I've done it in situations where you really, really, really don't know how much to take of it. And basically it does proper trip you out, because it's so pasty, it's so strong, it's so potent, you don't know what it's cut with, and it's very, very strong. You see, I would say probably, I'm not condoning anything, but they say that the darknet is probably the safest place to buy drugs, because it's safer than meeting a guy at the end of your street, you know what I mean, who might rob you or whatever, like, you know, I mean, for your phone or cash, you know what I mean, because, like, you know, that does happen. You know, basically, you know, I've been researching all this on the news and everything, and I watched a video the other day about the darknet, and it was quite fascinating, because you can pretty much buy anything on there, and it's completely anonymous, so whatever you buy on there, it can't be traced back to you, which is obviously making it the best marketplace for drugs. And at the end of the day, it is amazing, some of the prices on there. You know what I mean, you know, 3.5 grams of, you know, amphetamine for like £25, and that's 3.5 g of pure amphetamine, which is obviously going to be stronger and more potent on the streets. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I'd say that's a good thing. And also, you can actually leave leave comments to say what the quality was like, etc., etc. And also, again, it can't be traced back to you. So yeah, I'm talking to everyone out there, politicians and everything. You know, we need to legalise drugs, all drugs, because at the end of the day, well, except for the two I mentioned beforehand, at the end of the day, you know, the government's not winning the war on drugs, it's losing the war on drugs. You know, basically, when the legal high ban took a head of place, when it was the day it was placed on to happen, which was on the 20th. See, I remember that day very well, the 25th of May 2016, and that was a day that would be a day that I'll never forget, because that was a day that my favourite legal highs became illegal to buy, because I used to buy quite a lot of 3FPM and MEPHEDRONE, and I used to love it. But I don't recommend anyone take any kind of drug. This is not what this video is about. This video is about people legalising drugs. And as I said, if you're going to do a little bit, just get a little key and go, and then, right? But don't, whatever you do, don't do it unless you know what you're doing. That's my advice. See, I've been doing drugs for 10 years. 10 years of my life I've been doing drugs. And it's a long time. I've pretty much tried every single drug in the world. When I came out of boarding school at the age of 18, I tried ecstasy, MDMA, methamphetamine, crystal meth, cocaine, speed, ganja, weed, marijuana, acid, LSD, MDMA, ecstasy, then obviously mephedrone, meow meow, benzofury, methylphenidate, Ritalin, Adderall, Valium, Temazepam, diacodine, amitriptyline, and loads and loads and loads of others. Yeah, loads and loads of others. I'll say no. I'll say no. That's my training for, man. Yeah, still recording. Don't worry about that. All good in the hood. All good in the hood, people. Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously I went on to all them, and you know, life has been tough. You know, it's just depressing that some of my favouriteest drugs in the world were banned, and you know what I mean. It's crazy because it says it will make it an offence, basically, to possess with intent to supply a controlled substance. But at the end of the day, legal high, how is that a controlled substance? The reason why legal highs were created, right? Ma'am, I'm recording something. You're not talking to me, are you? Right. Sorry. Yeah. So, basically what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you need to legalise all drugs. Yeah, legalise them all. Because it's wrong that people like me have to suffer with this legal high ban. You see, a lot of politicians and everything and government forces think, and police think, that by doing a complete legal high ban will basically change crime rates. Yeah, it may have changed crime rates and violence wise and antisocial behaviour, because a lot of people ain't very intelligent out there, so a lot of people don't even know about the darknet, and the ones that do obviously keep it kosher. But as I was saying, like, yeah, it probably keeps the violence down, like in certain cities or whatever, like, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, it's still hang on, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, it curbs the violence, but at the end of the day, it's leaving people suffering that were buying their regular fix, and instead of buying off a drug dealer on the street corner, you actually bought from someone online, and you get it delivered, and it would be proper packaged, it would have a lovely name on it, and everything like that. And yeah, you know what I mean, it would be proper packaged and everything. And this is what now now with the darknet, pins apparently are packaged. I've heard they come very packaged, very safely packaged, so they obviously can't be traced back to you, as I said in the beginning of the video. But as I said, you know, be careful. You know what I mean? Watch yourself on the darknet if you ever decide to go on there. I'm not condoning activity, like any of this kind of activity. Make sure you got a VPN. Because it's wrong that we're living in the world of Big Brother, where, you know, we can't even have a shit without someone knowing about it. And, you know, people just putting up, you know what I mean, stupid bloody comments on Facebook and that, like, you know what I mean, it's just nothing safe these days, you know. Big Brother's taking over, simple as, you know what I mean. The third eye is watching you, everywhere you go, every step you make, every breath you take, you know. It'll be watching you. See, that's what cameras are. CCTV monitoring, Big Brother's watching you. That's exactly the same as the song. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. I'm gonna find you and make it okay. Right, do you know what I mean? So that obviously that's why the song was created as well. Yeah, so I'm saying politicians, police, you need to legalise all drugs, because at the end of the day, these people are suffering like myself, and I've been doing drugs for 10 years. I started off on street drugs and that, and then went on to legal highs. And do you know what? I've had some of the best times of my life on Meow Meow. Some of the best times of my life on Meow Meow, seriously. You know what I mean? If you look at a lot of my videos, a lot of them are educating people about it. And obviously that's why I'm here. I've obviously always wanted to be a scientist. A lot of people might call me a guinea pig. I've been on the Channel 4 News, as you see in one of my videos that I was talking about, and then this guy saw me on the news. Oh my god, that's you, yeah, you know what I mean? See, I used to be a legend, but when obviously the ban came out, I just shut myself off from the world. I closed down Facebook. I closed down Facebook for 4 years. 4 years I closed Facebook down on my own YouTube channel. So luckily I found the address, the email address. I'm so lucky to have done that. Even though I'm not making much money off the videos now, because I need thousands and thousands of views, so hopefully this will obviously determine that factor and make my views go to thousands. But yeah, I used to be a legend. As I said, I got 246 subscribers, 1,000 odd views or more. I don't know how many views it actually currently like. Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look. Right, I've got 151 videos, which is quite a lot of videos. Right, my channel. 246 subscribers, 104,639 views, which is quite a lot. As you see my playlists, right, I'll read some of them out. Everything to do with Asperger's syndrome I put in a playlist, right? Everything to do with like any computer game, like Uncharted 3, Drake's Fortune, right, Homefront of Revolution, Infamous, Second Son, Infamous for like God of War 3, Killzone, Shadowfall. I all put in separate folders, right? I also put into folders me kickboxing, obviously me my sessions of kickboxing, obviously webcam videos, Uncharted 4, another one of Drake's games, Shadow of the Beast, another game, and this is where my journey began towards that, finding myself, like obviously experimenting with MEPHEDRONE and everything like that. Obviously Cardiff on a night out, all about news and politics 3 videos. Cardiff back in the day was better than now, obviously it was definitely. Cardiff Evil was the best events ever, obviously your rave videos, enjoying myself at various raves, all about MEPHEDRONE and legal highs. See, I've spaced everything out quite nicely, like. So, yeah, so I just want to like ask the governments and that to legalise all drugs, because it's wrong that people like me have got to suffer, and people are now, a lot of people are turning to the darknet because it's safer. Safer than going on the street corner to pick up drugs when you can get it delivered to your door, in stealth-made packages. So it basically can't get sniffed out by sniffer dogs, and basically people enjoy their fix, they enjoy their buzz, they enjoy their addiction, whatever they've got, like, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's been tough for me when the legal high ban came, because I used to buy, you know what I mean, used to buy a lot of free FPM and MEPHEDRONE, but as I said, I missed the most I missed is probably Meow Meow, MEPHEDRONE, MKAT basically. So yeah, so all of you, like, you know what I mean, subscribe to my channel, Hardcore Stomper 2010. and I am live, right? I need loads and millions of views now, so make sure you subscribe. Yeah. So life has been tough. You're also having Asperger's syndrome. It's been a roller coaster, hell of a ride. You know, I've gone through experiences I never thought I'd ever go through. So drugs have helped me in a huge way. They've helped me get more in touch with myself. They've helped me to meditate. They've helped me become more friendly around people. They've helped me be more sociable around people, more sociable to people, as well as around them. It's also helped me to communicate better with my friends and family and anyone else I know. Basically, you know what I mean, with drugs, it's a shortcut to the spiritual life, you know what I mean. It gives you that kind of euphoria that, you know, normal life should give you, but sadly we have to fight for enlightenment. We can't just get it. So yeah, you know what I mean. With the legal high ban, they really shouldn't have banned any of these substances, because at the end of the day, mephedrone was not, as I said a million times, as I said on the news video when they did a report on me. Basically, it was not said to have caused the death of two boys why it was banned. Apparently those two boys had actually heroin in their system and ketamine in their system. Mephedrone was not even a precursor. It was not even part of the same makeup. They didn't even take that drug, and then it gets banned, which is completely out of order. What does the media do? It exaggerates things, and all of a sudden things get banned. So yeah, I'm even struggling now with this legal high ban. It really has had a big impact on my life, and that's why I went off YouTube, because after mephedrone got banned, it was really difficult for me, because I spent pretty much, since mephedrone came out in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, yeah, you know, I spent a lot of time on it, and it was the best thing for me. It was to help me totally sort out my anxiety. You see, the best, mephedrone is the best thing in the world, meow MKAT. It is the best thing in the world compared to any other drug. It is the most safest out of all drugs. I never had once any nosebleeds, heart problems, the stuff that I bought off, I obviously had a lot of sources and a lot of vendors. And basically, yeah, all of those sources made sure that the drone that I was buying was properly compacted, like, you know what I mean. It wasn't cut with anything dodgy. You see, if something's cut with something dodgy, you'll know, because it'll taste different, and also it'll make you paranoid instantly. If it's been cut with something really bad, you know it's been, your paranoia will also all of a sudden come on. Same with 3FPM. I would say they've done something to that to make it totally paranoid. With yeah, I had a lot of experiences on that drug, 3FPM, and it was a lot of scary experiences on it. Like, makes you paranoid, makes you sketched. And I also overdosed quite a number of times on it as well. I don't recommend or condone any drug use, but if you go into drugs, make sure you're around your friends and your family, and make sure that they're aware of what you've taken. And that is the best advice I can give. And if you're going to do it, well, just do just a tiny bit like that, yeah? Don't do any more or any less. Or if you want it to hit your blood system quickly, you just put it under your tongue, and it obviously gets into your blood. That's what's quicker that way. see See, that's what my drug counsellor told me. Do you know what I mean? He's not meant to say that. He's not meant to condone drug use. Like, that's what he did. He said, right. He said, right, Pete. What you do, right? He said, you stop sniffing whatever you take or whatever you do, right? You basically sniff it through a straw, because obviously all the millions of those £10 notes you've been sniffing, it's got other people's germs on it, and that's true. Obviously, can cause you infections, nosebleeds, because of what other people could have. They could have something, and it could really affect you. Like, they could have a really bad cold, and it could affect you and really give you like liver damage or something. I'm not saying it would, but you know what I mean. You just gotta be careful. And he says, right, Pete, what you do, you get a bit of powder on your finger, and then you lift your tongue up, and then there's like there's small blood vessels underneath at the bottom of your tongue. There. What you do, you just put the powder there, just rub it into your gums like that, and close your mouth, and just hold it for a good 10 minutes. Obviously you could take a drink, but obviously it's not recommended, because if you want it to hit your system, you need to hold it. You need to hold the powder at the back of your tongue as long as you can, and then obviously then it give you a bigger hit. Because if you put it in a drink, then it's not going to hit you much. And snorting obviously a lot more dangerous, because obviously it could cause a lot of nosebleeds or whatever, like. Do you know what I mean, people? So yeah, you see, when MEPHEDRONE got banned, my life just went from boom to boom, crashing down. I went off Facebook, I went off YouTube, and that's 4 or 5 years of my life that, you know, the ban ruined for me, basically, because I was so with myself when there wasn't the ban on Meow Meow. I used to order it all the time. God, the amount I spent on it was like over thousands and thousands of pounds. Like, I tell you, thousands and thousands of pounds. But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I would say it was worth it at the end of the day. It was worth it. It definitely was worth it. And you know, please people, we need millions and millions of thousands of views for this video, so I can obviously get better equipment, and obviously, you know, get better equipment for the computer gaming industry and everything like that I'm currently part of, uploading my videos and everything. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you're enjoying my video as I am enjoying making it, and I hope I've taught you a lot of things in this video. But as I said, I don't condone DARKNET or anything like that. I just want to say, you know what I mean, it's pushing people towards the DARKNET, people that have no experience, and all of a sudden they type something wrong, and then the police have them, because they didn't have no experience in that kind of world. See, with people like me, I know all about technology. I know all about backdoors, passwords, you know, all that type of thing. I'm like the computer whiz kid who is gonna reign on Bill Gates. Sorry, Bill Gates. I mean, I'm gonna reign like you, as high as a king. You know what I mean? My technology one day. You know what I mean? And one of them is gonna be movies, because I'm gonna make a lot of movies like I'm doing now, people. So anyway, this is a documentary explaining about legal highs and everything like that. And you know, I used to pick up legal highs from the high street. It used to be priced at £25 a gram. The stuff was badly cut. I used to basically do a lot of, not a lot, I experimented a few times, I didn't think much of it, was MPA. And it was like an amphetamine, but I didn't think much of it at all. I tell you what I miss was Dimethicane. Dimethicane was like cocaine, really numbs your teeth, like proper nice stuff, like just like cocaine, just like the real deal. But there again, with that could make you paranoid. See, any drug has the potential to make you paranoid, because as soon as you go past that barrier of no more serotonin and you've depleted yourself, which obviously very easy to do with drugs, because you don't know how much power to take, and you don't know when enough is enough, like especially if you're on night out or whatever. But when you deplete that part of your brain, flight and fight response kicks in, and instead of giving you more serotonin, pumping more life into you, pumping more energy into you, pumping more coziness into you, pumping more empathy into you, it basically pumps off a whole dangerous signal of paranoia and sketchiness and being scared and being frightened of people, because you just have to completely depleted yourself of all serotonin levels, and there's no way to get it back. It takes a few days for it to get back. And also, if you stay up stay up a lot at night, you know what I mean, you could suffer with psychosis. And that's the truth. If you're taking a stimulant or of an amphetamine substitute type thing, and you stay up all night, you can get psychosis. And it's not very nice, believe me, because I've been there quite a few times, especially for the FPN. So yeah, you know what I mean, I hope a lot of learning from this video. And I would just say, come on government, you need to legalise all drugs, because everyone at the end of the day is going to be going on the darknet, because it's safer, people can have stuff delivered to their door, and at the end of the day you're creating more criminals by people going to go on the darknet. Because at the end of the day, people are suffering, you know what I mean? Many people are suffering. We're all suffering after the ban, because that used to be our legal little fix, and we used to have it whenever we had it. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you took the fun away from us. How can you ban everything that alters your brain? That's like you're not letting us experiment with our consciousness, which is absolutely cruel. It's absolutely cruel. Because we should be allowed as a human race to experiment with our consciousness. The UK is the only place that all legal highs are banned. You can get legal highs in any country, any city, in any part of the world. The UK is the only one that's got the ban on, which is out of order, because you go to EU and you can order anything you want, meow meow, whatever you want, and you know what I mean. You can buy it legally over there, and obviously you can take it because it's not against the law. But over here now, by you banning everything, you're turning everyone into basically druggies. You're turning everyone into criminals, bigger criminals than what they were before the legal high ban came in. Because now the legal high ban has come in, it's turning a lot of people to more dangerous sources of the internet, like DARKNET. You know what I mean? I don't know that much about it, but I wouldn't say, as what I've heard about it, it's dangerous. I've heard it's a lot more safer than, as I said, a lot of times in video, than buying off a street corner of someone that could rob you. You know what I mean? That's the risk you take buying drugs, and you can't test the quality of them either. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, basically, in a way, DARKNET is legal, because it's got absolutely everything on there, absolutely everything. And at the end of the day, if there is such a big world out there called the dark web, then why can't all drugs be legalised? So anyone who buys from abroad, buys a bit of amphetamine or buys some meow meow to go out on a night out, cannot be criminalised for basically having that for their own personal use. You know what I mean? Only using it for themselves, and obviously not selling it on to distribute and to become a drug dealer with it, like, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, it's turning everyone into criminals. If that's what you want, government, you know, you're going about the right way around it, because you're turning the even bigger war on drugs now, because you know you've got the darknet, and you never stop the flow of drugs coming into the darknet because it's everywhere. Right, so people, I hope you've enjoyed my video as much as I've enjoyed making it, and I hope I've helped a lot of you out there realise the dangers of drugs, and don't take them unless you're with someone. And obviously I don't condone drug use, and I don't condone the use of the darknet, but if you're going to use it, make sure you know what you're doing, make sure you've done your research, and make sure that you know you really know what you're doing. Alright people, keep those comments coming in. I'll speak to you all soon. You probably see this is my calmest video ever, I know it is, because it was a lot of points I had to get out to the governments and all. Yeah, you know what I mean, for them to legalise all drugs, so we don't have this problem, so they can safely monitor the use of drugs, so that be less deaths, because with this legal high ban it's just going to cause more deaths, you know what I mean, because there's a lot of places on the darknet where people obviously can die from, you know, whatever's is cut with, you know what I mean. You know, basically you've got to be very careful on the dark web or what you buy, and obviously you've got to get as much information about the person selling that gear as you can before you make a purchase. So anyway people, keep those comments coming in. I need millions and millions of views, and it would be great to see how many views this gets now, because this could be the video that goes viral, really, because you know it's taken me a long time to put this out there, and obviously a lot of this is obviously the truth. I suffer with Asperger's syndrome, and see, drug use has been a way of my life. It's always been a way of my life. I've been doing it for 10 years. And as I said, you're just turning all of us, you know, into criminals. You know what I mean? And that's wrong. Because, you know, when we were getting what we were getting before, you know, we were fine with that. And then you bring a stupid ban in because it's killing loads of people. It's not the meow that kill people. It's not the amphetamine type drugs that kill people. It's always been the synthetic cannabis. Synthetic cannabis is the biggest killer out of all legal highs, and that is the truth. Synthetic cannabis is what killed everyone. If you see a lot of videos with people being put on their deathbeds, you know what I mean, on life support and all of them had smoked synthetic cannabis. See, even me, I'm not that stupid to smoke synthetic cannabis. You know, a blend's alright, you know what I mean, you know, a rollie, you know, a bit of ganja, a bit of weed, you know what I mean, smoke the jaw, fuck the law type thing. But, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, you know, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. Bet the weed on it. Yeah, so basically, yeah, saying about the, oh god. Right, anyway people, that was a long video anyway. Taking all my energy now, right? So anyway, Mr. G, I love you all guys so much, yeah. Keep it real. Keep it real, stay cool, and stay safe. Alright, I'll speak to you all soon. Ciao.